My name is Jorge Porres. I'm a construction engineer by background. I started in the renewable industry in 2015, full-time dedicated to the BlueFloat Atlantic project, and now I'm in BlueFloat Energy, where I'm leading the floating technologies and supply chain work streams. Nice to be here. So the purpose of a demo project is, in my opinion, there are two main purposes for this. The first one would be the testing of the floating technology, specifically for the conditions of Taiwan. I would say mainly the mid-ocean conditions and specifically the potential issues that could be related to the mooring system. The second one would be to use these projects as a stepping stone or as a test pressure the local supply chain. I think, well, because as you mentioned, there are only 3 turbine suppliers, and that's going to be the same issue not only for Taiwan but for every other country. So the localization of the manufacturing of these components is very similar in all geographies. When it comes to the upscaling of the floating foundations, it wouldn't be an issue from an engineering perspective. So it's up to the strategical decision or thinking of the OEMs to decide where they want to place the manufacturing plants. Because as you know, probably other countries in the Asia-Pacific region would have very similar local content requirements as Taiwan, and then the OEMs would like to comply with those requirements, so probably they'll go for a strategy of setting the blades manufacturing plant in Taiwan, maybe the nacelles in Australia, maybe the towers in Korea, I don't know, could be a combination of this. I think it's rather difficult to have everything in one country. Technical constraint when it comes to floating foundations, the main one is the export cable. So because it's a floating foundation, it's going to be moving, so you need dynamic cables to export the electricity. At the moment, to my knowledge, I think the biggest cables that have been produced for dynamic cables are up to 132 kV, whereas usually offshore substations have export cables of 220 or 400 kV. So I think the limitation is on the cable rather than on the floating substation. I don't think that is going to happen anytime soon, or at least in the near future. I think it's still going to take some time until the technology matures sufficiently to make a floating substation suitable.